Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Elisa Marie Designs. I am Elisa Maria. Welcome if you are new. We are happy to have you and join our little family. And welcome back, family, if you are back. And I don't say that lightly. I say that very genuinely. Thank you to all my subscribers that reached out after Saturday's events where my mom had a fall. If you don't know, my mom had a fall. It was pretty dramatic and traumatic, but she's doing okay. And I'm going to try and squeeze in a little bit of diamond painting and tell you what's been going on since Saturday, since Chicken Cutlet Saturday. All of a sudden my allergies want to kick up, you know, when your nose is itching. So here's how far I have gotten so far with my summer with the Masters. I'm loving this. So I will tell you that I started here because it is so long. I actually have another table off this side of my desk that's taking the weight of this canvas. I started here. I pulled out all of these drills for one section. I have a little note here. It kind of looks like a help me kind of a note. It says, because I'm so afraid of placing 310 on the dot symbol, I'm going to fill them in first. So I'll explain that a little bit. If I put it over here with my notes, maybe I'll remember. So these were all in this first section. There's like 20 drills. It didn't look like it, but there was. There's 20 drills here. And what made this section easy was because they kind of repeated themselves. And then I came back here and they're almost the same, but they kind of changed up a little bit. Whoa, they changed up a little bit in this section. And so then I did this section. And then I did this section, then I did this section. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go down the entire one side and then maybe do the bottom and then come up and finish this top. And then I'm going, excuse me, and then I'm going to leave the center, which is basically big chunks, big chunks of color blocking. I'm gonna leave that for the middle. And probably being that that is big chunks of color blocking, what I'm going to do is when I had this allotted to be a Saturday diamond painting, because this is when I started it. And this is when Summer with the Masters kicked off. And I thought, I need to slow down. I'm only going to do this once a week. So, being that Summer with the Masters kicked off on Saturday, I was like, once a week, I'm going to come back, show you where I'm at, and do a masterclass. I had already been putting my masterclass together on Mucha, and the world blows up. So I'll tell you what else has been going on while we do a little bit of diamond painting and get a couple of things done that I didn't get done, that I wanted to get done. You know how that goes. So what's first? Okay. So in this diamond painting, 310 is a heart and the dot is 415. Now for a dyslexic person, and a lot of fun too, because they put the dot right next to the heart up here. So I believe that this is the black and this is 415. Yeah, this is 415. Then we had a white and then we had the black. Then we had a yellow and we had the black. But the whole time I was up here, I was going heart, heart, heart. Like the black has to go on the heart. So while I was diamond painting, I was like, because I'm so afraid that I'm going to place 310 on the heart, on the dot. See, dyslexic. I'm going to do the dots first with 415. And, you know, that's how my brain is going to understand that. Okay, so the next thing, I wrapped up one of my diamond paintings and didn't do what I do. And I bought these little commemorative jars to commemorate my diamond paintings. And Woman in Gold is done. And she didn't get her gold little container here. Now, I will tell you, it seemed like a little, like just a fun idea, a little artistic touch to things. So me, and I thought, I'm never going to open up these jars, but I do. I do open them up, and I like opening them up and maybe pouring them out and looking at the color palette. It's given me ideas for other parts of my artwork. So this is the palette from Women in Gold. And there was this beautiful lapis blue that I didn't get a chance to use. I absolutely put the AB drills in because it's Woman in Gold. And I didn't put in the ones yet that I used to enhance the portrait, which was more like a gold glitter. That was the entire background. So I'm going to do that now while I tell you guys. I don't know what am I going to tell you? I really didn't plan for this. I was planning on other things, but I have all this pent up energy from not being here. And so, why am I looking for that thing? It's not going to fit. From not being here, so that I said, let me just roll. Let me just roll. It doesn't have to be a masterclass. I was going to get a different diamond painting. And I said, nah, let's just roll. Let's do a little bit of this because, you know, it's a big canvas. Oh yeah, I definitely will have enough for the color. Oh, what were these guys? Don't get glued together on here. Yep, so my mom took her to the hospital. And I was telling you guys that, you know, just walking in there was like 1986 all over again. And I can't get out of 1986. I keep having all these flashbacks every time I open my door, every time I go outside, every time, you know, I look at my pavement, I see my mom laying there. Putting a little water from my little sprayer here, just a tiny little dab, just to pick up these drills that don't want to let go. I mean, that fell. And, you know, thankfully, you know, I called her. She's going to get my dentist who I was at yesterday, who I have lived my life in a dentist chair. And this guy is just like Michelangelo. He is so meticulous. And he's like, bring your mom here. And I will. And, I'm happy that I'm going to be able to do that for her. It looks like an eye dream genie. So that's Woman in Gold. This is the Kiss. And this is the one that started it all, which was the Winter Fox. So I have Winter Fox, the Kiss, Lady in Gold, and I'm going to fill that up with the ones that I used as an enhancement. I don't have them out right now, but there's plenty of room for them, and I'm happy about that. So I have my little commemorative jars, and like I said, being an artist, sometimes I take these out and I look at them, and I might pull colored pencils for something that I'm drawing based on these colors, based on this palette. So I do use them, and I did have one of the drills fall off. I had noticed on the Winter Fox. They didn't fall off. I probably missed it, and I was able to find it right away. I don't need to have bags and bags and bags of stuff, even though doing the Woman in Gold, was it? Yep, the Woman in Gold. I ran out of drills. I mean, they were right down to the wire. And so I was able to take some from the Kiss that I had here. But I never want to be in that position again where I'm running out of drills. That's just crazy. Put my jars back. I have them also inside of a tray with a lip on it because I don't trust Foofy. Especially when he's jumping on my piano. Okay, so then I got a chance to get out and get my brain kind of like, give it a break. Let's put these out of the way because we're going to be diamond painting. And I went to the dollar store and I saw this little gadget that says, this week, this is, I think, something from Jot. I like the dollar store's stationery area. Like, you can put this in here and it will hold it up. And then you could, I was going to say, where's my phone at? You put this up and you can actually place your phone on here. And there's room for, you know, the wire for it to be charged. You could place your phone on here, but it says Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Of course it does. And then I got these dry erase markers. And, you know, I'm like, being that I am delegating this to Saturday, Saturday, right. So, see, I have to write it down already. So, Saturday has to be Summer with the Masters. And then Sunday is always Self-Care Sunday. And then I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to do other things that I want to do. Maybe Wednesday will be Whip and Chat Wednesday. So there'll be something else in the middle there. But on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, they're either going to be free days or they're going to be days where let me put this back in here, days where I do other things. Like I was showing you guys some of my artwork, and I think it was Martina that said, do you do this anywhere else? Does this even showing up on here? Do you do this anywhere else? Is that what's on Buy Me a Coffee? Do you have this, you know, these tutorials to these things that you do? And the answer is no, but maybe. Maybe that's what I'm doing then. Okay. I also did start my podcast, and I do have things already on my podcast, but I didn't go public yet. What else? What else have to keep you guys updated on? Lady in Gold, we did that. We did the diamond paint. We did the dollar store stuff. Let's get this out of the way. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I could tell you guys other than, you know, I'm trying to keep it all together. Did I cut this? I thought I cut this before I went to bed last night. Usually I like to get myself prepared, and I didn't, because now I'm tearing the cellophane in the center. Okay. I don't know. What was I doing last night? Did I cut it over here? Nope, I didn't. Take these off because I can't see with them. I hope you guys are having... I know it was really hot, and my mother had the heat on 83. It was 90 degrees outside. She had the heat on 83. I'm like, no wonder. My son went there yesterday to stay with her. And he sent me a snapshot of the thermostat. It said 80, it read 83 degrees. I said, oh my God, Josh, tell her. She probably doesn't know. He went, she knows. She likes it hot. I was like, oh my God, my poor son. He's got to get up early in the morning, and he's got to sleep in this heat. I was like, Josh, when she goes to sleep, lower it, put a quilt on her. She'll never know. He's like, she'll know. I'm like, she won't know. When you leave in the morning, turn it back up to 83. Oh my God, up in heaven. And my mother is a young 83. She's not like 83 and I got to roll her around in a wheelchair. She's a young 83. She goes to the gym. She's active. But we, to top, you know, it wasn't enough that she fell. She falls. Okay. So do I have any dots in here? No dots. We're going for the black. It wasn't enough. Of course, I put that in the tray. It wasn't enough that she fell, but earlier in the morning, she was in her yard and she was pulling weeds. I know what I wanted to tell you guys before I start anything. I have ink all over my hands because what I have been doing, being that I can't be at my desk and, you know, get this creative energy out of me, I have been working with my art journal and journaling, and I decided, I bought these pens from the dollar store. I didn't show them. These are Jots. I love them. They're like my favorite pens, and if you're a writer, then you know, when you have a pen, you have a pen. And I bought a whole pack, and like they write for like 2 sentences and they went out. And I was upstairs in my office, and in my office, in my yoga room, in my art room, it's all the same thing. And I was writing, and I said, what's with these pens? They're all just dying on me. And I took my glass pen out, because that's the first thing that I saw. And I was like, you know what? I'm really loving using this glass pen. Not only am I love using my glass pen, but I can't see this way. Not only am I loving using my glass pen, but I'm able to get like a wet brush, and I'm able to spread that ink around, and I'm able to, you know, do some, I don't know if I brought my book down, my art book down, but that's something that I was thinking, well, maybe I'll add that to Buy Me a Coffee. You know, I don't know. Sometimes I think I just have a lot of energy because of what's going on, and I come up with all these things, and I'm trying not to overwhelm myself, but these are the things that I enjoy doing, and I try and say to myself, you're not overwhelming yourself. You're doing what you do to cope, to self-care and to cope, just like I do on Self-Care Sunday. Did this fall down? Yes, it did. Don't start. Put these on here. Okay. So, I don't know where I was before I interrupted myself with where I was going with anything really. It'll come back to me. But you guys, honest to God, you're such a big support. I mean, I have a husband, I have a lot of support from him and from my son, but knowing that this community is here, and you know, everybody was concerned about my mom, and they wrote the most nicest things, and that they were praying for her, and I know that that works. I know the power of prayer, and you know, it just meant so much to me to know that I have this here. Where am I with this? Let's see here. They're not lining up the way that I like them to. And I don't want to lay that second row down until these ones are in their proper drill space. I don't know if I have one extra or one that's not enough. And Fufi has decided that he's going to do Cirque du Soleil right now. He's been a good boy. He went to go to PetSmart yesterday to go get his nails done, and they wouldn't take him, even though we had an appointment, because now they're looking for rabies shots. And we thought all his stuff was there when he was handed over to us from the previous owner. Then they wanted to get in touch with the previous owner, which I don't want to do because we kind of calmed down with them. And with them wanting to come and visit him, because I just think that, you know, I know that they love him and they miss him, but it's not good for anybody. You know, you're always going to love him and you're always going to miss him, and it's not good for him, I don't think. You know, he's just, like, I got him in August. He is just coming around to me, where he now comes in the bed at early in the morning. He'll come in, like, he knows that John gets up early, so he will come in, but he'll jump on my side of the bed and he'll stay with me. And it was maybe the course of a week that he started to inch a little bit closer to me, where he now puts his paws around my arm and he hugs me. And the first time he did it, I tried to wake John up without him making a noise, without him making any sound, which is just impossible. You know, he's just impossible. And he's like, I do everything for him. I get up in the morning with him. I give him treats, and he hugs you. He never gives me any love. You're his imprint. I'm like, when you're home, once you retire, you'll see. He'll come around. But I really am his imprint. And just that little act of him, you know, cuddling up next to me, and you know, he does this every morning now. But if you move, he's gone. He's gone. But he's getting a little bit more comfortable with some of the things that he's doing. And then, of course, yesterday he had to be traumatized getting in that cart, in his carrier, and then going to PetSmart, and then not being seen. So, and we leave the crate out all the time because that's what they told us to do. And sometimes he goes in it on his own. He likes to go in there and just chill. I'm like, this is great. And this was the first time that we didn't have a problem getting him in there. Which really, I was like, Fufi, please. I can't have anybody else in my world act up. Just get in the crate. And he did. He did. He was very good. But right now he wants to go out in the yard. I just feel like there's so many things to do in the morning. It's like, I had a productive morning. I got up early. I went into my yoga room. I did my writing. I looked over some of the sketches that I did last night. I wanted to create my new journal that I said I was going to do. I think I said that anyway. I bought a journal, but I'm hooked on my composition books because I like to create my own journals. And, you know, I was just looking over that stuff, and then I got on my mat and I started doing some yin yoga and some stretching and listening to some really good music. And I signed up for YouTube Music, so that I could play it in the background even if I am doing something on YouTube. That will still play in the background. Does this have a tab on it and that's why it's not? Let's just get rid of it. And then, did I do any drawing this morning? No, I just did writing. Why does it look like these are not fitting in the drill space? It's making me a little crazy. And I had my coffee. John actually bought me coffee before he left for work. And so I had that upstairs while I did my writing and listened to some music. And then I got on my mat and did some yin yoga and was thinking of all the things that I want to do, you know, before the world, you know, goes crazy again. You know, I don't know if my mom's going to call, which she did. You know, I told her, John stayed home. John is always off on a Sunday, but he stayed home Monday and Tuesday because he had Wednesday as his drop day. And he's like, I'm just going to take a long weekend. And, you know, being that this happened to your mom and we got to get her settled. And I told her, I was like, listen, I'm going to be in the dentist tomorrow, like from 9 to 11. It's a 2-hour appointment. He gave me a break at around 10 to get up out of the chair and stretch. Use the ladies' room if I had to. And when I came back into the room, they were like, your phone's going off. I'm like, let me guess, it's my mother. It's like, why do I even tell her things? Because I knew that she was going to call me somewhere in this dental appointment. And of course, she was panicking. And she called my husband, and he was like, Elisa's at the dentist. And that's what I was telling you. Not only did she fall, that morning, she was out in the yard pulling vines. Why, I don't know why she was doing that when she has someone that comes and takes care of the lawn. So, we thought it was poison ivy. It's sumac. I don't know. I'm a city girl. I don't know anything about bugs. I don't know anything about grass. My feet only concrete. And that's why I'm not out there, you know, with wasps and all kind of flying stuff. Oh, I just dropped my drill. And, you know, she went to the doctor, okay, because not only did she have the handbag and the cell phone and all the bags for Foofy, she had a heart monitor on. So she went to the doctor, and he did a what do you call it? You know, like, he was just giving her a checkup. And he's like, okay, let me take an EKG. And he's like, your heartbeat is irregular. When are you seeing your cardiologist? She's like, I'll go see him right now, which is nice because she can do that. And he went, he did 4 cardiograms on her, and he said, your heartbeat's always irregular. But now he's saying that she had a rat. Oh, no. We're all confused. Me, the doctor, the cardiologist, we're all confused by this one woman. She was having an allergy attack. Have any of you had this? Because I had it the other day where I walked home from, where was I coming from? I don't know, but I walked home. Oh, my regular doctor's appointment. And when I got into one of the stores that I was intending to stop in, I was having this coughing attack. And I'm like, oh my God, the pollen outside must be so bad because I can't catch my breath. And one of the ladies in the store had said, oh yeah, the pollen is really bad today. And I opened up something to drink, but you know, it wasn't until I got into my own house and put the air filter on, put the air conditioner on, that it stopped. So she goes to the doctor and she's telling the doctor this, and he's like, well, I want to give you a steroid. And she's like, well, I really don't think that that's necessary. I don't think it's that bad. Okay, he says. So now when she goes to the doctor with this fall and with this rash, and he's saying, I'm looking at the doctor's notes, and he's saying that you refused a steroid and you can't take it. They were all confused. So he sends her home with, like, I don't even know what, to put on. We went and got her Benadryl. And so for those of you that have older parents that you're taking care of, don't just give them Benadryl if they have balance issues, because the doctor said even though the Benadryl would be best for her, I don't want to give it to her because She's having balance issues. She just fell. She's been traumatized. She's, you know, pain in her mouth, her jaw. I don't want her getting up in the middle of the night. God forbid she loses her balance. The Benadryl is very sedative, and something worse happens. So we skipped the Benadryl. He wrote her a treatment for ointment. Go get the ointment. Okay. Put it on her. Okay. Next day, no relief. Which was the day yesterday that I was at the dentist. No relief. She's almost hyperventilating because she can't take the pain. So she calls John, and John was, you know, he was unavailable to her. So he called an Uber, and he got her to the doctor. He saw her immediately. He said, this is all over her body now. It has spread. What is going, you know, he's like, I don't know if it's an allergic reaction to the clindamycin that they gave her in the hospital when she fell for her mouth, or is it an allergic reaction to something else? Is it an allergic reaction to, you know, you can't get a straight answer out of her what she's doing and when she's doing it. So he now very, very hesitantly said, I'm going to give your mother a steroid, but somebody needs to stay with her. So my son went up yesterday and stayed with her. But as soon as she took it, she got on the phone. It was like my mom was back. Now, of course, she just had so much relief. Everything started to go in the right direction. And that's what was going on. So it wasn't just the fall. It was like this poison ivy. And, oh my God, what a mess. What a mess at the hospital too. I mean, I'm back in 1986, so that didn't help. Going through my own traumatic experience along with the one that I'm having presently. And everybody that came up to my mother asked her the same question. Are you on blood thinners? And you knocked your tooth out. No, she's not on blood thinners. Yes, she knocked her tooth out. I have it. Everyone that came up to her, every orderly, every intern, every nurse, I told them the same thing. I have the tooth. I have it. I have the tooth. They take her back. One of these people that I have already told this to takes her back to CAT scan. They come back out with her. He's like, oh, she's got to take her jewelry off. They bring her back in. He's like, you can't have any metal on. Does my mother tell them that she's got 300 bobby pins in her head? They wheel her back out again. They're handing me all these bobby pins. We're taking them out of her hair. Now, my mother's hair always looks like she went through a wind tunnel. I don't know what she's doing with all these bobby pins in her head. Because they ain't helping, is what I'm saying. And she goes back in. And they come back out again. The doctor says, we gave your mother a CAT scan, head and neck. But we still have her in there because we're looking for the tooth. He says her tooth was knocked out. I said, yes. He said, we're looking for the tooth. I said, why would you be looking for the tooth when I have it? Oh my God, somebody. So I got to go to the chapel. Where's the chapel at? Where's the chapel? I got to go pray for myself. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then did I tell you that when we got her to that, when we took the ambulance up, it's Pride Month kickoff, June 1st, the day my mother gets hurt, there's a big Pride party in Center City. Everywhere you go, they're marching, we're in a parade. Just like when I had my son, there was a parade. I don't know what parade it was, but there was one. I'm glad I could laugh about this, but I knew that I would. I knew that there was going to come a moment where, and I'm glad it's here with you guys, I knew there was going to come a moment where all this was just going to be like, oh my God, this is life. This is my life. Did anybody ever see, oh, what's it called? Because I'm getting it confused with The Sweetest Thing, which is another Cameron Diaz movie, and I love her. I think she's so funny. She was very good in The Sweetest Thing, which was so good with Selma Blair and Christina Applegate. And how sad that both those girls both have MS, Christina Applegate and Selma Blair. And Cameron Diaz, they're three besties. And, you know, they're just living the single life and loving it, you know. It's a little dirty. It's a little raunchy. Make sure if you're going to rent it and you got kids, that they're not, well, I don't even think you could watch this, but you could, but it gets a little raunchy here and there. So, not something I would even watch. Like, I don't like watching things like that in front of my son. And you know, he's going to be 38 in a few weeks. And I still, you know, come on. Watch it with the girls. Get a bottle of Chardonnay and watch it with the girls. It's really funny. But there's another one that she did. Oh, what's his name? Oh, why do I talk about these things? But anyway, she's getting ready to get, Jon Favreau. She's going to marry Jon Favreau. And he's going to a bachelor, he's having his bachelor night with the boys. With Christian Slater is one of them. And Christian Slater plays like a Tony Robbins kind of motivational speaker kind of a guy. And they're going to Vegas. And of course, you know, the unthinkable happens in Vegas. And by the end of this movie, Sweet Cameron Diaz, who is like, you know, the quintessential bride, you know, she just wants, kind of like she was in the one with My Best Friend's Wedding. She kind of like that, very sweet. By the end of the movie, she's half out of her mind. That's what I feel like. I don't want to tell you the end of the movie, but if you ever see it, the one that I can't remember, when I remember, you know, I'll text it on the bottom. It is so funny. It's a little, you know, it's a little disturbing, but I always get it confused with The Hangover, which I love. I love The Hangover. Any one of them. I love Bradley Cooper. But, oh, you guys, my husband, before all this happened, during the week last week, told me, we're going to the movies on Sunday. I already bought the tickets. I'm like, okay. I like when he does those things where he just is like, this is what we're doing. Okay, I don't have to think. He's like, don't you even want to know what you're seeing and why I bought these tickets? I'm like, just tell me it's like nothing with like things blowing up or death or anything that's going to make my nerves like shot. This is before the fall. BTF, before the fall. Okay. This is BTF, before the fall. And he goes, well, I bought them because it's a movie with Bobby Cannavale, and I know how much you love him. I'm like, I don't even care what it's about. I'll watch Bobby Cannavale in anything. I love him. So we go to the movies. This is after the fall now. ATF, after the fall. Because it's Sunday. We get somebody to stay with my mother. We go to the movies. And let me tell you, Bobby Cannavale needs an Oscar, or at least a nod for this part. We went to see Ezra. And when I walked in, I saw the poster, and it's like, it's about a father who's in the battle for his life for his son. So I didn't know anything about the movie, but Ezra is autistic. I don't give anything away. I'm not a spoiler. It's about his son who's autistic, and Rose Byrne, who I love, she did Physical. She did a series called Physical. I love Rose Byrne. And what else was she in? Bridesmaids. She's the real... She's the one that gets picked as the bridesmaid, as the maid of honor. It's with Melissa McCartney. Or McCarthy. Is it McCartney or McCarthy? So bad with names. Terrible. Terrible. I like the mother from the 70s show. She's in it. Is it the 70s show? Yeah. No, it's not the 70s show. Oh my God. I'm just murdering everything today. Shut the video off. Oh my God. Golden Years? I don't know what the heck the show is. I just know I love the show because it's based on the kid's real life videos that he took when he was growing up. And who else is in it? Kimmy Schmidt. So good. I would put Bridesmaids on just to laugh. Just to, anything with Melissa McCarthy, whatever her name is. I'll put it on just to laugh. She kills me. She kills me in that and in The Heat with Sandra Bullock. She kills me. So that's Rose Byrne. That's who Rose Byrne is. If you can make that out and you come back, you love me. You really love me. If you could decipher what the hell I'm talking about right now, you really love me. So Rose Byrne is Bobby Cannavale's ex-wife. And so he's not only battling for his son who's autistic, he's battling his ex-wife, he's battling her new husband, and who is his father other than Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro is a great actor. Great actor. But it wasn't a stretch for him. It's the same character he plays all the time. You know, anybody can imitate Bobby De Niro these days. So, but it was so good. It was so, you know, it's something that we're all going through in our lives, somewhere in our lives, deep in our soul. You know when something is wrong and you fight up against everybody to make it right and be that person's hero. You champion yourself to be their hero, and you are, but you're your own hero. It was such a, and me and John, both of us are bawling, crying. It's got a happy ending. I mean, it's just so emotional. I was like, gee, thanks, John. I didn't have enough of an emotional day yesterday. And I see Bobby Cannavale where he wants to, like, fall into his more emotional side of acting. Loved him in Vinyl. If you can catch Vinyl, I think it was an HBO series. So pissed that they didn't bring it back. He was so good in that. So good. I love him. Now, my husband told me that he was on Will and Grace and he was Will's lover. I'm like, oh, really? I don't really watch Will and Grace. But there is a movie coming up. It was a half an hour by the time they played all the coming attractions. And Karen is in a movie coming up. It looks really good with Bette Midler. I'm like, you know what? We can always wait for things to come out on, you know, where we can stream. But it's been so long since we've been to the movies, and just, we did something called Movie Tavern here. And I think they were in Phoenixville. Movie Tavern. It's a bar and a movie theater. And you can order your food, and they come and they bring it to you. But we went, like, really on an off day. We were the only two knuckleheads in the theater, and it was ours. And let me tell you something. We had 2 drinks each before we went to the movie theater. I don't know what the hell we were watching. We just went for the whole idea of being able to have drinks and cocktails and watch a movie. It was some kind of superhero movie that Helen Mirren was in. I have no idea. And have them bring us chicken fingers. We were like 2 little kids. We owned the movie theater. I took pictures and all. I have receipts for everything. Everything. I'm looking at all this ink on my hands, but boy, did I have fun yesterday in my art room, drawing and creating in my art room. These black drills are so nice. They're so shiny, but a lot of the times I can't tell if any of them are funky until I get them laid down. Like if they have like little pop marks on them, or because it's the bezel and it's kind of like bouncing off the light, and like, I don't know, it's like, oh, I think I'm going to get as far as black today. And that's the way that it's been really over the past couple of days. You know, I sat down. This is giving me Klimt vibes. I have to tell you that this is also like little works of art that you're creating, because usually when you dissect your diamond painting, you have those spots where you're kind of like, oh, this is just a big background piece, or this is like the top of her head, like, you know. But this has been like this one section here was just the flower. And these are all ABs. Every single one of them is an AB. So that was really nice to do. And then you have this section here where, if you can tell, it kind of looks like I went off the line, but I can see it now in the video. The camera picks it up where it's giving that beveled effect, where like here it looks like, oh, did I make a mistake? Did I not go straight? But I could see it now. It's a bevel effect, but you really can't see it. There's a lot of things that I don't catch. A lot of times I'm doing a short and I'm like, oh my God, there's 2 drills missing. I got to stop the whole thing and start over again, because I see it on the camera, what I don't see with my naked eye. And where are we? Now, I will tell you that I pulled notes for Alphonse Mucha. Very interesting life, him also. So I'm very looking forward to my masterclass. And I guess those 3 days are not going to be free days, because somewhere along the way, I have to do the research for Mucha for the Masterclass, and then I have to do my Self-Care Sunday. So yeah, what am I thinking that I have free days? There's no free days in art. We're constantly creating, and that's what I like about going in my art room, shutting the door. I was only going to write. The writing turned into getting a glass pen. The glass pen turned into getting a water brush. The water brush turned into creating art. It just was crazy, you know. And I know today is Thursday, and I know Thursday is live at 5 with Joanna, but I never heard back from her. So, you know, I was there last Thursday, if any of you are wondering, because I did promote it. I was there last Thursday and she wasn't there. So I don't know if this is something that she now does every couple of weeks, but I did see that she had some kind of a pop-up, but I wasn't on when she was live. I don't know if she mentioned me. I don't know. You know, but you know, if you put the word SOS out to somebody to stop by and then you're not there. And then I even checked her post to say, does she have like a community post? Which you guys, am trying to use a little bit more. I hope you guys saw my post today because I was back in my art room and I was listening to Paolo Nutini, who I discovered right here on YouTube. Me and my husband play this game where we pass the remote to one another and we pick songs. I pick a song, he picks a song. I pick a song, he picks a song. And we kind of like songs because he's an entertainer that you can sing along to, and he might decide, hey, that's a great song for my show. So I guess what we were both watching, and we were on my channel, Paolo Nutini popped up, and I was like, who's this guy? And he just kind of came on, thank God. Well, you know, I was somewhere in the background. I wasn't paying attention. I just put music on. And, you know, if I was searching for music, I would have went by him. I was like, who's this guy? And he sang Iron Sky over at the Abbey Live Studios. And I was like, who is this guy? I ended up listening to every song he ever wrote. I was like, if I could, and then I found out he was Scottish. And I was like, if I could ever see this guy live, who is he? Does he travel anywhere? Well, when I went to go look for him, he was going to be at the Union Transfer in Philadelphia in 2 weeks. I called John screaming, you got to get me these tickets. He's like, who is this guy? And John knows everything about everybody. Everything. He knows album covers, statistics like most men know, baseball stats off of a baseball card. When we went, like, he was like, oh, right, I'm here watching this guy, and let me go downstairs, let me go to the bar, and let me go get a drink. She's up there. And it was standing room only, which I loved. When he came on with this full band, my husband couldn't get back up. I was on the mezzanine level, center, and right up front. My husband came up. He went, who is this guy? I'm like, I knew you would love him. He's like, look at this band. Oh my God. So I hope you guys got a chance to look at my post this morning, because I did post, when I turned my music on, Paolo Nutini was the first one up. Haven't listened to him in a while, because I go on my jaunts with him. And he was singing Better Man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Then it went into, he did a remake of I'd Rather Go Blind, that only Etta James can sing as far as I'm concerned. And every time she does, I break down in tears, the pain and the heartbreak of her saying that she would rather go blind than watch her lover walk away. Oh, well, let me tell you, this boy, he kicked this out. He broke me down. He was just so good. He's got so much soul and funk, and it gave me Amy Winehouse vibes. You guys check him out. I hope you love him as much as I do. I really don't have to oversell it, because I know you will. And so I was thinking, you know, I get up in the morning, I do the same thing, and it kind of pisses me off that I can't have my own music as a backdrop, but I will be using the posts more in the morning. And now that I signed up for YouTube Music, and they don't mind putting a clip up and actually letting you see the video. Like, this is what I'm listening to this morning, is something that I am going to be doing in the morning, because that's what I do. I get up and I put my music on, and, you know, I write. Me and John did go out to the Navy Yard, and we did take some time to, I was like, you know what, I have to get back to the basics of my self-care. And maybe that's what I'll talk about this Sunday, of like what I do, which doesn't cost a damn thing to do, just things that I remembered that I did during my yoga teacher training. Because my son now is doing breath work, and he was doing breath work, and he said, oh, Mom, I really think like I pushed it. And I said, Josh, you have these intercostal muscles in between your ribs. And, you know, if you go too hard with it, you're going to feel it, because they're not used to expanding in between the rib cage. And when you're doing that breath work, I mean, it's great because you're getting down into the lungs. However, you're going to feel it, and don't overdo it. And so I was thinking about, you know, when I used to do my breath work, when I was in teacher training, and you know, what other things did I do? I mean, I used to get up in the morning and I would have a warm glass of water, or cool. It doesn't really matter one way or the other, just as long as it's filtered water, which I have a filter on my counter, which I will link because I think it's a wonderful thing. It filters all the deposits and minerals out of your water. Not minerals, all the heavy metals out of your water. And you can put it right on your countertop, and it's like $70. And it's good for 3 months. And we've stopped with the water bottles and all the plastic. Not that that's why. It was more for my health, that, you know, we have good, clean water in the house. And so I put a little Celtic salt in there, because you'll have all the trace minerals that your body needs in Celtic salt. Himalaya salt got a bad name recently because the salt was coming out of China, and it's got a lot of heavy metals in it. It's still a decent salt, but the Celtic salt is the best salt. I usually use it to sprinkle on my salads or anything that needs salt. Anything but table salt. You don't want table salt. So Celtic salt or Baja Gold salt is a really good salt. Put it in your water. So you're already helping your body from the time that you wake up. And then the next thing that I would do is I would go outside and I would ground. I would, you know, no shoes, no socks, get your feet in the earth, on the grass, in the sand, near the water, but touch the earth. So that's what me and John did. We went to the Navy Yard, and I did some yoga, and I did some walking around, and I did some grounding, and it was great. You know, it's great because your body empties out. You know, it comes right out through your feet. All that, you know, it's like a magnet. It's just, you know, it's recharging. It's like putting the plug into your cell phone. So recharge yourself. So you've already done your salt. You've given your body a nice dose of trace minerals that you need, all the trace minerals that you need. And then you go outside, and if you could go out in the early morning light, when there's like no UVB, no UVA. I'm not really 100% sure about that. This is what I've read. But the early morning light, where you're not going to do any damage, but of course, always put your UV protection on. Go out, you know, ground your feet in the earth, in the dirt, in the grass, in the sand. There's the second thing that you do. And then if you want to do some stretching, a couple sun salutations. If you don't want to do that, just breathe. Breathe. Do a box breath. Inhale for 4, hold. Exhale for 4, hold. Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, inhale. You know, just inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. It's a box. Do it for 4. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, inhale for 4. You know, just do the box. I feel like I'm looking at myself, and I'm getting a little dyslexic looking at myself. But do that. Start there. And then if you want to expand your breath work, then make it 1 count, but just keep the count even. If it's not 4, if it's 3 or 2, do 2. Inhale for 2, hold for 2. Exhale for 2, hold for 2. Inhale, you know, do it that way. But you want to make a box. You want to feel like from shoulder to shoulder, from hip to hip. You want to fill your belly first, hold, exhale, hold. And you know, you'll start to open up those muscles in between the rib cage, like I was telling my son. And the hold is so that you open up the nodules in the lower part of your lungs that we don't use. We have a lot of air in our body that's reserved. You know, it goes in, it doesn't come back out because we don't exhale fully. So you're exhaling this stale air out of your body and you're putting fresh oxygen in, which is doing what? It's feeding your cells. So do your count, keep them even. And when you're doing your hold, so you're basically breathing from the upper part of your lungs, but when you hold, what happens is the lungs on the bottom, the nodules begin to open because they're like, well, where's the air? And they start to grab. They open up to grab. And so they're able to exhale that stale air, bring in the new air, the new oxygen, and oxygenate your blood, oxygenate your cells. You'll feel a little bit more, you know, alive just from your breath work. And this is what I do, you know, costs nothing. Writing costs nothing to do. Getting yourself a pen, you know, and not just a pen, you know, I have a pretty pen. I bought myself a pretty pen, you know, I actually bought myself a glass pen because I love to sketch with my glass pen. But this morning I decided to write with my glass pen. That's what it was intended for. And I was like, you know what? No more running out of ink. No more, you know, going out to buy pens. I got this beautiful pen. And, you know, what am I doing? And I can get different color inks, which I have. I'll link my pen below that I use. Maybe I'll even take a picture of it and put it in here. But I really had a good time with my pen. And then I was like, let me get a water brush. Let me see, because some inks, I gotta find out which pen it is. I think it's I don't think it's a dip pen. I think it's a pen already that has ink in it. Oh, it's a calligraphy pen. But if you were to wet it with a water brush, it has an opalescence to it that turns like an emerald green and blue. It's really stunning. It's great to do artwork with. I don't use it for calligraphy. And again, I can't think of the name. Too much going on in my brain. Can't think of the name. And even when I am diamond painting sideways like this, I have a really hard time deciphering where I am. I have to make sure that each one of my diamond drills has a buddy, so I know that I'm in the correct drill space. I use my aligner more and more every day for stuff. So that one goes there, that one goes there, that one goes there, that goes there. Hopefully the camera's picking this up. Okay, so here's where I got off course at. Because that one goes there. And then I need two more here. So if your line is looking a little crazy, go back and see if you're short one or if you have one in too many. Each one should have a buddy next to it. Am I done with the R's? Yeah. So with last week's Self-Care Sunday, I did, as I said, start my podcast because I do a voiceover anyway. So why shouldn't I just roll that into a podcast? You know, if you're not interested in looking at the artwork, you know, you'll be looking at the podcast. But, you know, I am aware that when I am here, and I know you guys and most of you, and I am a little bit more relaxed, I do have to clean it up some, where, you know, I have to make myself aware that not everybody is diamond painting. And it's not such a relaxed environment when you're trying to do something like self-care. Not that it has to be so serious, but I'd like it to be cleaned up a little bit. Which one did I pick up? This one. And where are you? And then as soon as I'm done this, being that my son was with my mother yesterday, and I called him this morning because he had to be in work for 6, and I said, was she up? And he said, nope, she was still sleeping. So I'm going to let her sleep. Now, even though I know that I am right on the line, this doesn't look lined up. And white drills will drive you a little insane because I think they're the hardest to have look neat, and you know, because you can see the gap space in between. Did anyone get a chance to check out Anthony from Single and Placing and the Van Gogh that I told you he unboxed? It had 12 ABs in it. Oh my God, I almost died. You know I ordered it, right? I did that last night because I had the dentist appointment, 2 hours in the chair. Oh my God. I was like, I need something. I need something that's not free. You know, I need to do something for me now. You know, walking around Target wasn't it. Even though I was able to get my little containers that I wanted to organize my bathroom with my stuff. John, I give up. I give up. His stuff is in the room, in the back, over here, over there. And, you know, and then when I do organize it for him, he doesn't put it back. And so that just drives me nuts. So I'm like, you're on your own. You're on your own. He'll go, oh, thank you. Gee, thanks a lot. Well, you know. The only place I work for free is here. You don't want to put your stuff back after I organized it. Not going to drive me crazy. See, there's always that little gap. Oh, it drives me nuts. And I could see where these were a little bit too squished together. And I know, because I figured this out myself, that when you align your drills, if you just give it a couple of times, just where you could see that your drills are separating away from each other a little bit, just like a hair, you'll see. Now I'm going to put this line down, and it's going to match up evenly. You know, they do need a little bit of room between them. They can't be squashed up, and I could see where I squashed here. And that's where I'm getting that gap, and I don't want that gap. But I'm still a little off, I can see it. That's why I don't like placers that are long, like this is a 7. I think I put my mark at 6 or 4, but this is what I grabbed this morning, and so I'm trying to not put an absolute on anything. I could still see these are too tight. Maybe it's just the day that I'm having, and so maybe I go back and try it another day. And I did try this technique that I was like, you know, if it's a little bit of space, let me just tap this and see, can I create that little bit of space? And when I did, you know, I liked the way my drills were laying more, but, you know, I always forget to do it. And I will tell you that I am almost, the next block that I do is going to incorporate almost a little bit of her hair. So this is moving rather quickly. I just wish that I, you know, felt a little bit more present doing this. I just don't. I feel like I'm kind of a scatterbrain all over. I might be running at the mouth, like I'm like, argh, you know, really like wound up because I just have all this adrenaline, you know, just I feel like I'm going to take flight. But I do love this. It's so different from the moon. This has more of that Art Deco feel around the edges, whereas the moon was just so ethereal. It was so beautiful. It's upstairs in my art room already. Hanging on the wall. Lady in Gold is hanging on the wall. She didn't get her frame yet because, like, I couldn't put the key code in because I ran out of some drills. So I was like, well, no key code here. And I think I'm going to paint the border black. When I was in Target, I did price some of their larger frames in black. Very thin middle frame, nothing, you know, very simple. And they were ranging from $20 to $30, and they were big. They were like poster size. But I'm like, I haven't been using my Gems Flow app where I had the proper dimensions. I mean, I could have went onto the website and looked up and said, well, how big is this canvas actually? But, you know, my mind was all over the place. I was there for my mother. I was waiting for her prescription. I'm like, let me walk around. Let me get some things for my house. Okay, I'm over an hour, so I don't even know that I'm going to edit this, because if I do, I'll be staring at the, you know. She's back. But I love it. I do love it. And I do love all these other things that I have made space for. And I just need to clone myself so I can get it all done. Look at that. It's like the most beautiful window that she's at. Let's see if I get this up higher here. Well, I could, but here we go. She is taking up my entire desk, plus then some, because she's there she is. I have another, and then there's still overhang here. So she is taking up my entire desk. Entire desk. And then I'm going to call it a day for me. I'm not going to continue. I might continue this part when I do the update, the masterclass on Alphonse Mucha. That's going to start on Saturday. Self-Care Sunday is on Sunday. I will let you know when the podcast is ready to go. What else do I have going on? I think that's it. Or did I write it on that thing over there? Oh, a Whip Wednesday. Whip Wednesday. Summer with the Masters on Saturday. Self-Care Sunday on Sunday. And everything else in between, I'm going to try to get on Buy Me a Coffee, because I really don't know where to put it. I mean, I could start another art channel, and it probably would be the easiest thing for me, is to start another channel and have it be an art channel where I just do tutorials of the things that I create. This morning, I didn't bring it down. I know I didn't, because I had so many things in my hands. This morning, I had, during the week, knowing that I was going to start a new journal, I buy all the time. It's my gift to myself when they come out. It's called Flow magazine, and you can find them, if you could still find a Barnes & Noble. I don't know. I heard they were closing. Or any bookstore. It's called Flow magazine, and it is the most creative journal type magazine that I've ever come across. I know there's a few, but I like Flow because if you're a paper lover like me and you're an art lover like me, you would love it. And so Flow came out with a book called, this book takes its time, because it's so big and chunky that I think for me, it's going to take a lifetime for me to get through this book with all its creative elements that it has in there. But I also buy Flow's paper books that are just, everything is in there. Envelopes, paper, calendars, things that pop up, decorations. I mean, it's just packed with paper. It's packed with all different kinds of paper. And I sat there in my room and I said, let me take out my Flow paper book and I'm going to design my art journal. I have so much, I should just really just make these and put them on Etsy, you know, when I have the time. I don't know what I'm thinking, but it's just, there's just I have so much paper, and I have so many composition books that I buy, and they were like 50 cents in Target. Hello, you need an art journal? Go to Target, and you don't even have to decorate the front. And I once decorated the front of my journal with newspaper because I had liked articles that were in there or words, and I just slapped newspaper on them, and I cut all different words out, and I slapped words on top. You know, get a napkin. Do you like your decorative napkins? Peel them apart. You know, just wet your fingers a little bit and pinch your napkin, and you'll see there's 2 layers. There's a backing and a front layer. Use the front layer, Mod Podge it. Mod Podge is $1 in the dollar store, and I don't even think you have to take them apart actually, but you could decorate your own journal with a napkin that you like. So, so many ideas like flying through my head right now, but that's what I was doing, and I was thinking, well, maybe I'll do this on Buy Me a Coffee. Maybe I'll do a little tutorial. I used to do it anyway in New York. I have all my classes documented that I used to teach in New York with all the instructions and all that you could print out for yourself. So why the heck not? If you're creative like me and you like that kind of stuff. But if not, I will see you on Saturday, where we'll do our first installment for Alphonse Mucha Masterclass and Summer with the Masters, and we will finish this block because I'm gonna hold it for you guys. Bye. Create the world that you want to live in.